horror fans. Once again, it is me, the Horror Miser Monty G. Yes, it's coming towards the end of the year, one last week left. And what I always like to do on this last week of the year is do my top 10 list. One of my favorite videos I always love to do. Yes, my top 10 best and top 5 worst horror movies of 2019. I always like making these videos, because it reflects back on how good or how great or how not great the year was. And it was a pretty good year for horror. We had some pretty good horror movies come out. Then, of course, we had some real stinkers. Now, I always like to start off with the bad first. So this video will be my top 5 worst horror pictures that came out in 2019. And then later on, I will put up my top 10 best horror movies of 2019. Yeah, I love making these videos. Now, before I begin, I just want everybody to know, just kind of a little bit of disclaimer. Keep in mind that this is my opinion, what I believe are the top 5 and the top 10 best and worst horror pictures of the year. I'm pretty sure some people who are working on the list will probably have maybe some that are in their top 10. They're in my worst. Or it could be vice versa. Some of my worst or some of your best could be some of my worst. And I'm pretty sure that's going to crisscross as people start doing their top 10 lists. And I'm pretty sure, once you see this video, you're going to say, wow, you did that? Wow. Some of them are going to be the same. Some of them are going to be a little bit different. I'm pretty sure some of these will actually have the same movie. But let me stop rambling along. Let's get on with the top 5 worst horror pictures of 2019. Now, before we begin, I'm going to give out, this is the first time I'm doing this, 2 dishonorable mention movies that came out this year for 2019. And the first one will be The Curse of La Llorona. Yeah, this pitiful movie came out this year, and it's bad enough that it actually had to be linked to The Conjuring. I'm thinking that probably during test audiences that they realized how bad this movie was, and they said, hey, let's link it to The Conjuring. That might get people to see it, and it really didn't help matters out for this particular one. The movie starred Linda Cardellini, Patricia Vasquez, and Raymond Cruz. It was based upon the Mexican folklore, which I thought was pretty fascinating, and at least they had a somewhat good idea when they tried to make this movie. But unfortunately, typical jump scares, too many jump scares. The La Llorona herself didn't look that threatening. I seen threatening much more. The only good thing was the acting of Linda Cardellini and her children. I actually thought they did a pretty good job. The kids weren't annoying. I thought she did a pretty good job. Raymond Cruz, he was okay in this picture. He really didn't do anything wrong, but unfortunately, it's just, just one of those movies that not real bad, but, highly disappointing. So one of my dishonorable mentions, or honorable mention for this one, dishonorable mention is The Curse of La Llorona. My second dishonorable mention for this category will be Ma. Yes. Oh, man. I was actually looking forward for this one. You got Octavia Spencer, Academy Award-winning actresses being in a horror movie. Hey, it worked for Lupita Nyong'o. Why can't it work for Octavia Spencer? Unfortunately, she's the only real good thing about this picture. Everything else is just your typical horror tropes. I believe Luke Evans actually stars in this picture, and let's see, Juliette Lewis, she's also in this picture as well, but they're not really given much to do here. It's like you think with the trailer that something bad is going to happen to the kids, that Ma is going after, that Octavia Spencer's character is going after. You think she's going to do something to these kids, but she really doesn't. It's like the film has a good premise, but is too afraid to go there, and nothing really happens other than Octavia Spencer doing a pretty good job. But I was highly disappointed in this picture, and I thought I expected more, but it looks like the film was too afraid to take it to the next level. So my next honorable mention is Ma. Alright, let's get down to business. Coming in at number 5 is The Silence. Yes, The Silence, what people call the ripoff of A Quiet Place, because of how similar the plot is with The Quiet Place and this one. This is a Netflix film that came out earlier in this year. Supposed to be these creatures that were dormant for all this time. They get awakened and they start going around killing people, but they're very blind. They only hunt by sound. Yeah, sounds similar, right? This movie starred Sabrina. Her name is Kirian Sipka. I think I pronounced her name right. And Stanley Tucci and Miranda Otto. Had some nice gore effects, but the creature's design was kind of okay, but the acting was a little off. And the main problem with the film was that what's her name again? Kirian Sipka's character, Ali Andrews, is supposed to be deaf. Now, I know that she can hear, and unlike the character in The Quiet Place, who was a deaf actress, here she's not. And a lot of in this movie got a lot of flack, especially from the deaf community. They felt as though that she did not give a true portrayal of a deaf character. And, it had a kind of lackluster ending to it, but, what are you going to do about it? So, coming in at number 5, The Silence. Coming in at number 4 will be Hellboy 2019. Yes, everyone thought that Hellboy, this particular Hellboy, was supposed to be more um, close to the source material, would sort of kind of bring back the Hellboy that we saw with Ron Perlman's character in the two Hellboys, which everyone truly enjoyed. I thought both Hellboys were good. Second one kind of was a little bit derivative, but it was still a good quality horror picture. But of course, then this Hellboy came out, and nothing against David Harbour. I thought he did a pretty good job as Hellboy, but the rest of the film was just, bad movie. Add some nice gore effects in there, but I think they just threw them in just to make the gift because it was an R-rated film. I believe there were 3 stories from the source material from the Hellboy comics that they tried to put together and mash together in one film, and what we have is a complete mess. We got some overacting from some of the other characters in this movie, and of course, like I said, it just was a complete mess. It just didn't make any sense. So, coming in at number 4 is Hellboy 2019. Coming in at number 3, and I'm sorry, some people are probably get some smack for this. They might get upset. Rob Zombie's 3 from Hell. I really don't know what Rob Zombie was doing when he decided to create a sequel or a third movie from the Firefly Family. I actually enjoyed the ending of The Devil's Rejects. I thought it was a nice way for Baby Otis and Captain Spaulding to go out. But for some reason, somebody thought it was a good idea to make a sequel from that movie, and we get this mess right here. And as much as I try to enjoy Rob Zombie in his movies, but to me, this is the worst of his movies that he has come out with. I mean, the plot was the plot was a complete mess, and I feel sorry that. And I was saying, you really have to feel sorry for Sig Haig. This was his last movie, and they got some scenes with him in it before he passed away. And you can tell that the guy was not well, but he was a straight on trooper and did those scenes before he passed away. And nothing against Bill Moseley. I thought his character was okay. I just didn't like none of the writing. The directing was way off. There was some bad editing in the film where some of the stuff didn't make any sense. It's like for some reason Rob Zombie was trying to jump time and then take it back somewhere definitely between the first and second acts, and the other scenes just seemed to drag on and on and on. It didn't make any sense. And the third act really didn't make any sense for me. And where's the gore? Where's the violence? I mean, first of all, Otis's character, he's supposed to be a devilish badass, and to me, he's like a timid tiger here. He's not the Otis that I know, especially in The Devil's Rejects. He's supposed to be the meanest of them all. But he's just a timid tiger here. I don't know what happened to this picture right here. But coming in at number 3, 3 from Hell. Now, coming in at number 2 is I Spit on Your Grave, Deja Vu. Now, I don't know if this is going to be the trend or not, but obviously the director from, now keep in mind, this is a direct sequel from the original movie that came out in the 70s. It has nothing to do with the remake or those sequels. This is a direct sequel from the original movie. Now, obviously, the director, Mir Zardic, I think I pronounced his name right, obviously saw the success that Halloween 2018 had. So he decided, you know what, I'm going to do the same thing. Not only will I come back and direct, I'm going to bring back the original star from the movie. So he decides to bring back Camille Keaton, who she was the original one that played in the 1970s movie. He brings her back and thinking that they're going to strike gold again with this particular direct sequel from the original movie. Now, you have to keep in mind, for those who saw the original movie, that was not a good movie at all. It was not a good movie at all. It's not like as good as Halloween was, the original Halloween, 1978. This particular movie, I Spit in Grave, I saw it when it first came out. It was very poorly made, it was poorly acted, it didn't make any sense. It was very gory and violent. I mean, first of all, the rape scene was violent enough, but then when she gets her revenge against the people, not saying that they didn't deserve it, but they did. But it was very gross. It was like, ooh, you smelled squidgy. And this guy didn't know what the hell he was doing then. And then he decides to come up with this. And first of all, it was long and boring, and the scenes just drag out, and none of it made any sense. You see, there's this couple that one of the characters run into. We don't see them at all until probably till around the third act of the movie, and they give no explanation as far as who they are, what they represent. I mean, we eventually do find out who they are, but I'm not going to spoil it. But this movie was a complete mess. There's no redeeming qualities of it on this particular movie. It was filmed bad. It was bad. It was a terrible movie, and that's why it comes in number 2 in my worst movies of 2019. And now, finally, the worst movie of 2019. And yes, I'm pretty sure most people will have this on their list as well. And that is Black Christmas 2019. Yes, it's sad. And I really don't want to need to say anything more that's already been said about this particular movie. And I'm pretty sure that Blumhouse and Jason Blum probably thought they were doing something for this particular movie, but it was just, the message was just pounded in everyone's face. It was shoved down the throat. And not only that, it's a poorly made movie. It was not badly directed. I will say that it looked pretty good, so I'll give them credit for that. But with it being PG-13 and, the editing, you could tell that they wanted this to be a rated R, but then for some reason they decided to make it PG-13, and you can just tell how poorly some of the stuff is, and the cliche characters, and the silly-ass plot, and, all men are evil, and all this stuff like that. And like I said, we don't need to say anything more than what's already been said about this picture. So coming in at number 1, the worst horror picture, in my opinion, of course, of 2019 is Black Christmas 2019. So there you go. That's my list for the top 5 worst horror pictures of 2019. I'm pretty sure you actually will have your list as well. And if you do, put it down in the comment section below and tell me what you think are your worst movies of 2019. It might be similar to mine. It might not be. And so that's my video for the day, guys. So hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up and share the video if you want as well. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscriber button and ring that notification bell. That way you can come and enjoy the horror experience with me, the Horror Miser Monty G. Also, all my social media links will be down in the description box below as well. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember, horror rules. Freddy, take us home. We're out.
Every town has an Elm Street.